Hello everyone. Right, I thought I'd tell you a joke today. I've seen a couple of vloggers out there tell jokes, so here's mine. So I'll apologise up front for it, okay? But it amused me, so here we go. My joke is about a working class guy who lives in a block of flats down in London. He works hard for his family, he works nights. He's got a beautiful wife, and he's a little bit worried because he works nights. He's got it into his head that his wife is having an affair when he's at work. Now, he's not sure, but he's got this gut feeling and he wants to find out the truth. Is she having an affair or is she not? So what he decides is, without telling her, he takes the night off work. But he doesn't tell her that he takes the night off work. He pretends that he's still going to work. And he leaves at the normal time in the evening. But instead of jolling off to work like normal, he goes out into the grounds of the flats where he lives and he hides in the bushes in a position where he can see his flat. And he waits, and he watches, and he waits, and midnight comes, nothing, and he waits, and then the dawn starts to break, and he begins to think to himself, well, maybe I've got it wrong, maybe she is faithful, maybe it's all in my head. But just then, the light comes on inside his flat, and he sees the silhouette of his wife. And a couple of seconds later, he sees a silhouette of a man. And they start cuddling and kissing. Well, that's it. He loses it. So what he does, dashes out the bushes, dashes into the block of flats. The lift is already open on the ground floor. He jumps in the lift and he's banging the buttons trying to get it to move. Gets up to his floor and he runs along the corridor to his front door. He's in such a panic, he drops his keys trying to get them into his lock, and he opens the door, bursts in. He strolls into the kitchen and there's his wife standing there in the kitchen with the kitchen window open, smoking a cigarette. So he says, where is he? And his wife says, who? And he said, don't play games, you've got a man here. She said, don't be silly. He said, I'll find him. And he starts searching the flat. Goes into the bedroom, looks under the bed, in the wardrobe, looks everywhere. Goes into the spare room, has a good search around the spare room, trying to find him. Nope. He goes back in the kitchen and the wife's standing there with a grin on her face. I know he was here, he said, where's he gone? And just then he hears a car start up from the car park below the kitchen window. And he looks out, and there's a man sitting in a little convertible sports car frantically trying to start it. And he thinks, right, I've got you. He looks around and the nearest thing to the window is their fridge. Big old fridge. So he picks it, drags it to the window, unplugs it, drags it to the window, tips it onto the ledge and tips it out the window. The fridge goes crashing down on top of this little sports car. And he thinks, yes, got you. His wife, who's been watching this, she thinks he's gone mad. And she hits him over the head with a frying pan, knocks him out, clean out. Anyway, he wakes up, he's in hospital. And he said to the doctor, what happened? And the doctor said, well, your wife hit you over the head with what we believe was a frying pan. You'll be pleased to hear that there's no major damage, just slight concussion. So you can go home this afternoon. He thinks, thank God for that. Anyway, he's sitting in the bed and he looks around. There's a guy sitting in the bed next to him, bandaged from the waist up. So he said, hello mate, what happened to you? And this guy said, well, you wouldn't believe me if I told you. He said, go on, try me. He said, well, I'm supposed to be starting a new job. First day, I'm on the early shift. I dash out to my old sports car, tried to start it. Would it start? No. Frantically trying to start it, and guess what? Some donut throws a fridge on top of the roof of my car. So this bloke thinks, oh, I better be quiet. So he looks around for someone else to talk to. And in the other bed, the other side of the ward, there's a guy who's covered from head to foot in bandages. So he thinks, alright, I'll talk to him. He goes, hello mate, what happened to you? And this bloke said, oh, you wouldn't believe me if I told you. He said, go on, try me. He said, well, I was hiding in this fridge. I told you it was bad. Okay guys, if you're a biker, ride safe. If you're not, be safe. Talk to you next time.